Hello, and you are more than welcome back to Little Miss Dropstitch. I don't know about you, but it's the end of the year and I just want a little rest, so I thought I'd just lie on the couch rather than kind of do all my official setup. So I just wanted to discuss with you kind of everything and sum up what's gone on this year, both myself and in my life and Little Miss Dropstitch, because obviously they do cross over. Not a lot happened in January, so not that I can remember anyway. I probably just knitted, didn't I? So we'll skip that bit and then we'll go to February because this was incredibly exciting and an amazing thing that happened to me. I went on the Ernie and Carlos Norwegian knitting cruise under the Northern Lights. It was absolutely incredible. I think about that trip every single day. It was well worth it. I've told everyone possible that I've been to the Arctic. I've never done long haul or anything like that, so it just felt like I was in this really foreign magical place because I was. And my mum would be like, "Oh, do you not need your big coat going out?" And I'll just be like, "Mum, one of us has been to the Arctic here." And when, if we're lost or whatever with my friends and they'll be calling me, I'll be like, "Well, I did somehow get to the Arctic, we're going to be all right, don't worry." Absolutely magical, and that really changed things for me in terms of being independent more, and bits and having more wool and bits and bobs like that, and just kind of a catalyst for learning as well. And I'll talk about it and make more videos next year, without spoiling it for anyone going on future trips. I currently have shorts and TikToks on it, and longer videos on all the wool I brought back. That's a good one. And also tips for wool shopping in Norway if any of you go in and you need those tips. I'll kind of be doing a little series, and there's bits of blog posts as well. I never intended with blogging it at the time when I went, it just kind of feels right and appropriate. And it's also nice for me to reminisce and look back on, so that's been a nice thing to do at the end of the year when I've been doing my little travel blogs as well. So the Ernie and Carlos knitting cruise, I mean, there'd just be too many things to mention about it. Obviously, we've got reindeer, the huskies, Ernie and Carlos themselves, who are just the most adorable people on the planet, and the wool, travelling, being in the Arctic. And obviously I've never been to Norway before either. So there's all that, and absolutely brilliant. So that was February. Some people also, you get them on Facebook and they're like, "Well, thank goodness the worst year of my life is, well and truly over. Welcome 2024. And they say the same every year as well. And it's the same people, but I don't think I believe in measuring happiness or sadness in a year. There's up and downs in every year. There's been downs in my year, but there's been ups as well. And that's just called life, I think. So I'm using the unit of a year to kind of measure progress and what I've done, how much I've done or not done, rather than kind of measure of happiness or sadness. So there we go. In the spring, I started to sew garments again. Well, just get my sewing machine out in general again. I think the reason I hadn't was, I was a lot younger, probably about 5 years ago. I've made 2 things on the machine, like garments, in that time. And 5 years ago, I just wanted to get things done, cut corners, so I was using like the thickest interfacing, which wasn't making things nice to wear, and stuff like that. Just kind of little things. Oh, and not ironing anything at all. That's just making garments. It was just little things like those that contributed to the end result, me not being happy with, or it not being as wearable as I'd like. I can't remember what got me back into it, probably because I got enough wool and I wanted something else crafty to buy. So let's get into fabric. And I got into that and making garments. Pleased to say they all fitted, some better than others, but they did all fit. And bits and bobs. So that's something positive, and it kind of gets me from sat on my bottom knitting. And it's good to kind of mentally just to have, something a bit trickier with instructions and things like that. And I've learnt a lot of new techniques. I weren't into sewing again when I went to Norway, so I feel like I want to go back and look at the fabrics because I weren't really paying attention to them. No idea how much they'd be. I've really enjoyed it as well, and it's been good after work, especially in the summer, rather than just kind of lozzing about. I should probably explain a bit actually what I've been doing, so many bits and bobs and holidays. So my friend Jackie, she calls the year 2023 2020 me, and that led her to doing kind of things she's always wanted to do, holidays, craft shows, things like that. And that's what kind of inspired me to do my Earning Carlos holiday and different crafts and things like that. So 2020 me, and I think by the time we get to the end, you'll agree I've fulfilled that. As I did have some crafty goals as well, and they included buying less clothes, because obviously for kind of fast fashion and waste, I didn't want to do that. I'll tell you what I bought this year. It might seem a lot to you, but believe me, compared to before, and I was guilty of getting stuff in the sales, so I get like 2 in the same colour, or more than I needed, and then my wardrobe was just completely clogged up. So this year all I've bought, to my knowledge, is 3 pairs of dungarees. I do like wearing them, from Lucy and Yak, not sponsored or anything. I got a mustard pair, a mid-green pair, and a cobalt blue pair as well. And then, I got a couple of thin polo neck jumpers from Next as well. And yeah, that was it. And then obviously I've made my garments and lots of jumpers as well, but I don't think I'm gonna shake the planet with that, with my own little production of those. And they were just for me. So yeah, I enjoyed that. We will now go forwards in time a little bit to the summer of this year. And that's when I first kind of had an inkling. It started off as me kind of wanting to share my knowledge of knitting, crochet, sewing, and kind of what I've accrued. It's only even though I'm technically still young, don't feel it, you kind of sit and think, actually I've over a decade of knowledge, like that has to count for something. And then at the knitting group I go to, I've shown people how to make socks, and we've all shared our knowledge and learnt things from each other. And it's when you think, actually I do know things people don't know, or can explain it in a different way. I have a slightly different technique. I've got Sue onto using small circular needles for doing socks instead of DPNs. So and that's what I love about textiles as well. There is always another way to do something, or always something else to learn, a new trick as well. And I've also enjoyed making my finishing techniques a bit more professional, with both blocking and sewing up bits and bobs like that. So yeah, I just had kind of this inkling bubbling, and then it turned into, actually maybe I've kind of got enough knowledge over the decade plus to make my own patterns. And then it just started as kind of an ecosystem, as actually it would be a good idea to kind of share it and teach people, hence the YouTube. And then that's when all the other bits of like subscribe, TikTok, Shorts, Instagram, Facebook, all that comes up, and the website as well. And yeah, it's been a lot of work and difficult, but I've learned so much. There's the bits, I guess I didn't think too much about this initially, that I kind of not as interested in, so the technology side, and I did go and research it all. But yeah, sometimes it's still like today that's why I had a nap, because I tried to film and then the microphones wouldn't pair up, so we left it and came back to it after a nap. So yeah, everything from lighting, photography, filming, websiting, and the socials, learning kind of what grabs people's attention and how to phrase things and tags and so it's been a lot, and I do kind of enjoy learning bits and seeing, does this help, does this work, and yeah, as of filming I'm on 68 subscribers, which I think is bloody fantastic, and yeah, just a quick thank you really, because I do notice you all. There's a lady called Anne who does like every one of my TikToks, bless her. So yeah, I do notice you all, and I think that's kind of what's nice about it being cozy and small scale, is that I notice, like, just if it's one like, I notice it. If it's one follow, I notice it. Rather than, I don't know who's a famous YouTuber. Oh God, I'm too old. Who is a famous YouTuber? I don't know. We'll go for that man off Strictly, that Joe Sugg. He might not notice, he might, but one extra follower of, when he's got thousands and thousands. So yeah, it's been absolutely, a pleasure. to share it with people, and people that feedback then that have helped or they've enjoyed the tutorial, etc. And some I'm still working out what people like as well, because I thought people would like the more niche techniques of how to do a stretchy cast off, but then I make a pom-pom TikTok. It was to kind of decorate a present, and that was with this cute pom-pom, and that's got over 3,000 views, so yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Who knew people didn't know how to make a pom-pom, but there we go. So yeah, I've absolutely enjoyed it, and yeah, even creating the website, that's cool as well. Another thing which ties into Little Miss Drop Stitch and myself is I've started to do and kind of document travel blogs. So obviously with the Norway, which I'm still kind of halfway through and writing up and filming, and then I went to Lancaster. That was fun, and obviously I bought things, 2 knitting shops and wool shops and a fabric shop, and documented that. And then I went to the dizzy heights of Bolton to a wool shop there. But I just like the idea that people might be, well, they're not coming to Bolton on the holidays, but they might be, coming over on the holidays, and then, or, visiting family, or just they live in the area anyway, and I can, brew in a review, as I call them, the wool shops and places there. What else have I got? Oh yeah, I went to Vienna as well, so I've still got to document that. And then next year, me and all my girls are going to Dubbers. Okay, we're going to Dublin. So I've got a fun-filled 5-page itinerary of wool shops, boot shops, and cake shops. So that'll be nice. And then that's February, and then March, Latvia. And yeah, especially to see those lovely mittens and socks as well. So I'll be blogging and documenting all that. Another thing I've been up to is making my own patterns, and yeah, they've been received well. So I've been doing sewing ones. They're all free actually. I think I've got 3 out, and a lady called Wendy has, I think she's from the northeast. She's made absolutely loads of dog bandanas, so that was a nice project to do, and that other people could get involved in for free. And then I've done some knitting patterns. One of those is free as well, the pumpkin one, and I think that got like 168 downloads on Ravelry. And then yeah, I think that's what's nice about independent creators, is that people put on Ravelry what they've done, their project with my pattern, and that just makes me so happy because, one, I know I'm making some sort of sense to people, and 2, that's a little bit of me and my design that then, is in that pumpkin in that person's house in a completely different country. And yeah, I just find that absolutely magical, and I do enjoy designing and making. It's different because, it's not just something for me. Then I've got to consider kind of the skill levels of other people, what they'd want to have in their home, on their head, whatever. So yeah, that's been a real joy as well. Let's progress to the autumn. Okay, I started learning Norwegian. I think I'm all like 100 and odd something days in on Duolingo, and then I've got bits of books and resources as well, which I'm very much enjoying. And yeah, I clearly hope to go back there someday as well. And then I started cooking as well. So I'm in my mid to late 20s, let's say, and yeah, I just cannot be arsed with cooking. Baking, love, cooking, don't. That's because by the time I finish work, I'm already hungry, tired, it's winter, it's pitch black. So at the most, I'd make pasta and then just sprinkle cheese on it. But yeah, I don't know where it came from, but I then saw KitchenAid, the machines, like the mixing bowl with then all the attachments you can do. And then I got a Kenwood one, which was obviously a cheaper version, bought it with my own money and everything. And yeah, I use the blendy attachment. I think that's because I'm a bit of a fussy eater. That's what was kind of putting me off eating healthy meals as well, was all the bits in them and the textures. So yeah, I just blend all my veg up now. And yeah, I've learned how to do sauces, bologneses and that, and it's just one of them things. I think when the time's right, you'll do it. and you know, when you have to want to do it as well. But yeah, I do feel a lot better and less tired for eating proper as well, so that's good. And because I think that's the barrier as well, it's difficult to cook for one, so I do batch cook things as well. And then it's nice that, you know, I'm inviting my friends round in January, and it's nice that, you know, I can give something back and cook for them. And I've cooked with my brother and he's still with us, so there we go. Another thing I got up to was I finally finished the bloody nativity. Okay, I've been doing it for 4 years. I started off, did probably half of it in 6 months, and then I didn't touch it for 3 years. I think I outpaced myself because in Grand Rachel style, I didn't just want Mary, Joseph, Jesus or a couple of shepherds and kings. I wanted the full farmyard that went with it. So, you know, donkeys, camels, ox, sheep, and all of that. I did plan to do more, but they didn't quite get as many friends as I'd hoped, just because I was sick of it by the end. But yeah, it does look really lovely, and well, Obi likes it, bless him. He keeps taking the sheep out of it, because when I was making it, I finished it and he was next to me and he thought I'd done it for him because it was squishy, bless him. So yeah, when he comes round, he goes straight to it and picks the sheep out. It's very cute. Yeah, glad I finally finished that. Do you ever feel the same, that you know there's a project there in the dark depths of the naughty corner, and it's just always a tiny bit in the back of your mind? It's like, I just need to finish that before I do anything else. So yeah, who knew that 2023 would be the year I finished my nativity? If you want to see any pictures as well, it's on my Facebook and Instagram. Another thing I got up to, I really like kind of shows, musicals, things like that. And in 2022, I went to one like every fortnight, and I kind of sickened myself off with it by the end of the year, even though I really enjoyed it. So this year I've been a bit more selective, but tickets came up for things that I've wanted to see for over a decade, okay, since I was a wee lass. One of those was Andre Rieu and his orchestra, the Dutch guy with the big orchestra and the lovely costumes. I went to the MEN Arena in Manchester, whatever it's called, this week, to see that. That was very spenny, but amazing. I sold stuff on Vinted actually, and that's how I made money to get the tickets. And then the other one, which was, it was magical. I don't offend Andre, but it was better. Well, in my opinion, I preferred it. And that's the John Wilson Orchestra. He's a Geordie bloke, and he's on the proms every year. And he does kind of old Hollywood musicals and pieces together the film scores again. So talking Gershwin, Rodgers and Hammerstein. And singers were Kim Criswell and Matt Ford. Yes, and they were absolutely brilliant. I don't know why I'm coming across, I don't know who it was, because I absolutely adore Kim Criswell and Matt Ford. And yeah, they were absolutely incredible. And that was at the Bridgewater Hall, which is literally one of my favourite places in the whole world, in Manchester. So yeah, that was an absolute delight to see both of those, especially because I'd really wanted to see them pretty much half my life. Now, let's talk about the bit you've probably come here for, and this was my crafting goals, okay? The first one was to do some colour work, so fur stranded colour work, and I think I pretty much smashed that. I've done a couple of jumpers, and then I need to do a video actually about how I do kind of the technique. This hat as well, okay? This is a kit from and patterned by Northern Yarn in Lancaster. That was on my on tour videos. Absolutely love that. And then I'm filming this 23rd of December, so we've got 2 more days left on the Annie and Carlos mystery stocking as well. I find it very peaceful and relaxing colour work, which it shouldn't do, because you see some of the colour charts, it's like, whoa. Yeah, absolutely, I've enjoyed colour work, and I feel like I've got better at it and it looks more professional. Obviously I've got to block both of those things as well. Another goal was to use what wool I've got in my stash, just because I felt kind of my creativity was being a bit hampered by getting exactly what I needed. And you know, obviously we all want things to look nice, but then actually I've had some kind of happy accidents with using buttons as well. That's another one, using whatever buttons I've got in, or kind of bits and mix and match ones. I've done some scrappy jumpers as well. They've turned out really lovely. So yeah, that's been good. Have I smashed it? I could have probably done more, and also I bought a lot of wool, so it hasn't made much of a difference to my life. So yeah, maybe we'll look at next year's goals for that. But yeah, I've started to, and I've really enjoyed the benefits of the creative side of kind of using what you've got in as well. Another thing I did was I did a tapestry. I really enjoyed that, and it's just kind of something a bit different to do. And as I'm filming this on the 23rd of December, I'll have to see if I've been good enough and that Father Christmas is bringing me a tapestry kit, hopefully. And I've asked for the one, it's Agatha Christie, but she looks a bit like a drag queen in it. It's quite funky. My friends weren't so sure, but I absolutely love it. So yeah, I've asked for that. And then finally, important one, I've got a better sleep routine, which is difficult, you know, if you're traveling or, you know, with friends, whatever. But yeah, I've made a point of going to bed earlier, whether that, well, 9 o'clock if Coronation Street's on, 8 o'clock if I'm not just going to sit there and watch Night on the telly. Well, I'm not like that. It drives me mad. So yeah, 8 to 9 o'clock, and then reading, and more importantly, it's putting the phone away and getting off screens, because, you know, I've got enough ideas buzzing around as it is. I don't need screens as well, and actually getting rid of that screen synthetic light has made a massive difference. And it did, and I've, you know, there were times where I got out of the routine and had to get back in, and it is a bit of a slog to get back in, just because, well, phones are addictive, I suppose, as are ideas on Instagram for craft projects. So yeah, that's great. I kind of read and then sleeping. My thing is I struggle to get off to sleep. Once I'm asleep, I'm fine. But yeah, it's like getting off sleep can take a good couple of hours. So with reading, that's a lot quicker. Well, I hope you've enjoyed what I've been up to this year, both personally and with Little Miss Dropstage. And do like, subscribe, all that good stuff to stay with us and see what we get up to next year. My next video will be all kind of about 2024 goals. But before you go, I would like your help, please, in the comments, okay? Please put which pom-pom. I feel like one's too small and one's too big, but I have to pick one. Okay, so there's this one. I don't know if it looks a bit like Where's Wally, kind of with too little. But then will this one be too heavy, okay? I think it's the Clover pom-pom maker I used. Okay, so let me know in the comments. Oh, big or little. Thank you.